We see what Arsenal
But
do, innit?
you're linked to someone as well today, Huijsen from Bournemouth, supposedly linked to Arsenal. Is that where you'd like to see Arsenal spend some money this year on is that the long-term Saliba replacement, do you think?
Well, I don't think it's the area we should be starting to spend our money. I think everyone knows what we need to spend our cash, and that's up top and across the front three.
Well, you got Marino now. You got Marino. You're fine.
Do you know what? I was just speaking with Troops about this. I actually think he's been fantastic for us, man. I can't even lie. I'm not gonna sit there and believe that he's now the number 9 at Arsenal. We don't need a striker, but we certainly do need to put some flowers. I think he's been fantastic. I really do, and I think he's got 10 goals and assists in the last 10 games. I mean, fair play to him in that position. I never saw it coming, but Arteta's seen it and it's worked. So fair play and hats off to him and to Mikel Marino. I think he's been brilliant. I thought he was phenomenal away at Madrid. I think he's been great in the Premier League games. He's nice little flick and assist for Martin. Then his goal against Ipswich. He's been very, very good for us. So fair play to him. Dean Huijsen's a very good player. I think at 19, 20, he looks like he's going to be a really good talent at centre-half. I don't see it happening with Arsenal, and I'll tell you why. It's not just us that are interested. Liverpool, Chelsea, and Newcastle apparently are as well. I think Newcastle was probably the right move for him, if I'm honest, because he could be the centre-half first team alongside Botman. I don't know that he will be in the Arsenal or Liverpool lineup because I don't think he's going to get ahead of Konate and Van Dijk, and I don't think he's going to get ahead of Gabriel and Saliba. So I think for him, the right move is probably to go and get first-team football at Newcastle. However, it might be that there's an opportunity for him to go and be a part of something at Arsenal, and that's what Mikel Arteta is clearly looking at. We definitely need a centre-half because as much as Gabriel and Saliba are superb and Kivior's come in and been good, there's lots of rumours that he might not be here long-term, Kivior, because he wants first-team football. We can't offer it him. So maybe we do need a centre-half to come in that's going to actually be some backup and cover for Saliba, and that's what he would be. But again, that's on what Dean Huijsen wants to do. I think he's been a tremendous signing for Bournemouth. I think he's been excellent and picked up brilliantly. There were rumours that Real Madrid were looking at him as well because he's looking to get called up to his country. He's been that good for Bournemouth. So I think he's going to be an excellent talent. I think he's going to be one that we look at in the long run. There's obviously other mentions at the moment of centre-halves. I actually saw Nathan Collins mentioned yesterday, linked with Arsenal. I don't know if that's a serious one or not, but obviously Ivan Ndika's being mentioned from Roma. Jorel Harto's being mentioned from Ajax. So there's definitely a couple of players linked with Arsenal, which means we're going to be looking. I think we will look to sign someone in every department. We're going to need a backup goalkeeper because Neto's going to go. We're going to need a backup defender. We definitely need a midfielder and a striker and a winger. So we're going to need 4 or 5 positions covered. Like LB said, what he needs, Arsenal are no different in the amount of players that we need as well. You know, we've got to try and make sure that we're good enough in all 4 competitions. It's not about just winning the title next season. We've got to be competitive. So for me, there's definitely 4 or 5 positions that Arsenal clearly need, and we might even need a few more. Berta coming in is massive. We've been linked with everybody and everyone. In terms of strikers, we're being linked with Gyökeres and Sesko again. We're being linked with Nico Williams. We've been linked quite heavily with Zubimendi. And obviously, we've got the defender links now as well. So I think there's going to be, like LB has said, a massive, massive summer, not just for Arsenal and Man City. I think Newcastle, Chelsea, United, Liverpool, and of course Tottenham as well will have to. I think they'll all have to spend big, and I think it's going to be a mad summer. I really do.
I would say, though, I'd be mad surprised if you sign this guy because for me, like, you've got to hit your priorities. And your priorities, for me, this is my priority, is striker, left winger, starter, right winger, backup, replace Partey if he leaves, and another creative midfielder. And then you might want to look at your centre half. But I think, it's like last year you signed Calafiori, Marino, Sterling, yeah? Like, did you really need Calafiori? Like, before even Miles Lewis-Skelly come through, you didn't really need him, did you? Like, I think you've got to hit your priorities. If you hit all your priorities and you've still got some cash in the bank, yeah, by all means, go and sign another centre half, man. But I think you need to go and get those players first rather than before getting a centre half.
And the thing is, what I will say is, as much as I agree with that, we don't know the order of priority. It's just a load of rumours at the moment. So we could have, Dean Huijsen being linked today has come after the Zubimendi links, the Nico Williams links, the Gyökeres links, and the Cunha links. So, like, it might be that Dean Huijsen is the number 5 on the list and we're just linked with him as well. But I do agree with what LB's saying.
The only time it's a priority is if suddenly in the next couple of weeks you start to see serious movement of Real Madrid looking at Saliba. Then... I don't think that will happen this summer, but that's the only time I would, if I was an Arsenal fan, I would look at prioritizing that is if he was to go. But even backup wise, I mean, Kivior's actually done really well recently in terms of a backup. He deserves it. But I would look at a Huijsen signing as more as the longer term replacement of a Saliba. Is that needed this summer? As you say, you're probably better off putting your money into those attacking areas, as LB said, 110% better off doing that. A few super chats here. First one here from Aya says, Terry's right. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. But he says, I feel that I won't ever witness a player like Bergkamp ever again. I also feel I didn't appreciate him more back then either due to maturity, hubris, or me thinking Wenger would unearth another Bergkamp. Yeah, there's that. And there's also your age. It's you're sort of like your first love, sort of. I feel like you get to a certain age and the players that are playing then, you just nearly always hold in a higher regard than the previous or the future generations. I just think that's kind of normal. And you only start to notice it when you get a little bit older like me.
What do you think then it's going to be like in 10, 15 years when we think back about Lionel Messi?
Well, yeah, exactly. Like, again, Messi's one of those players that's like cross-generational. But what you'll find is there'll be a new Messi. And I'm not saying he'll be as good, but there'll be someone else that comes along because my dad's generation won't put most of
them. That's Claudio Echeverri, mate. Yeah, you know Claudio Echeverri, mate. Come on, Eche Messi, guys.
But yeah, my dad just won't put Messi above Maradona or Pele. At the same time, I can't debate him on it because I barely watch those other two play. So it's one of those things. So it will always happen. Saw the show with GB. Why spare Rasmus criticism? Mark Goldbridge. Is that what you mean? We weren't really talking about Rasmus though. We were talking about signing Cunha. If anybody was to ask, no one asked a question about Rasmus. That's why.
What do you think of Rasmus?
Regressed massively. Ended up being a really, really poor signing. He isn't the same player now as when we signed him. He had a lot of potential. It didn't work out, but that goes back to what you said, mate. You know, you pick a manager, you pick a manager and a style. You're meant to be signing players for that particular style, but the manager abandoned the style before the player even settled in the team, and now we've moved on again. So I'm really not surprised, and that's what we've got to get better at in our recruitment, is that there has to be a longer-term future for these players than just the manager that's currently at the club. He's suffered massively. I feel really sorry for him, but yeah, awful. I mean, he literally could have set up or scored 2 or 3 goals against Wolves, but instead we walk away as the losers. And I just look at it and think, yeah, the man's just gone mentally. I feel sorry for him because he's a United player. I feel sorry for him. If he was one of your players, I'd be laughing. But yeah, he's just awful signing now. All things being equal, it's been an awful signing. You know, he really has been. Was Europe bad when Chelsea finished mid-table and won the Champions League? Knockout football is different. Got to get out of here with that BS narrative.
What is the no? I'm confused. What he's saying?
I don't think any. No. I mean,
what are you trying to say? Because by the way, yeah, when Chelsea got Tuchel, I said I reckon they could win the Champions League. That's on my channel. Not my channel. It's on my old channel. Yeah. When they appointed Tuchel, I said I reckon they could win the Champions League, and that was back in like January of that season.
Yeah, and also,
so what we're doing?
No Chelsea fan worth their salt, whilst they won that Champions League, was still content with how they were performing in the league. You like grown-ups and human beings have the fundamental capabilities to compartmentalize things. Over the moon, going to party tonight, going to celebrate this Champions League win, going to wind up some rivals, and then got to improve that league form, got to improve in those areas. That you just can have those two trains of thought at exactly the same time. Just winning a trophy doesn't wipe out the problems your club has. You know, the same as just being really good and competing every year shouldn't stop your desire to want to win a trophy. I just don't understand why we've become so polarized and we can't see that, because my whole life, I'm 39, till I was 35 years old, no one had ever spoken about football in this way ever. Not when I grew up living in London, not when I lived in Essex, not when I lived in Manchester. So I lived in 3 different parts of the country for prolonged periods of time, got friends from all around the world, met football fans of all different ages, and for 35 years, no one used to speak like that. There was just balance in conversations. I don't know who's created this, excuse my language, my channel, I don't need to apologize, this fucking bullshit about this polarized fucking shit wanked. Oh, it annoys me. It doesn't exist. It's not real. You're being fucking misled. Not your fault, Sully, but I'm just, it annoys me so much. Do you think next year's EFL teams will have to learn from their last time up? And who do you think will get the third spot?
Because what they'll do, they'll spend the money on a bunch of 20-year-olds. They'll beg and hope that one of them does well. They'll flog them in the summer for 2 times the profit. They'll get relegated and take the parachute payments. They're not interested. Most of these teams, are not interested in actually staying in the league. Forest were, which is why Forest bought all the players and then broke the rules. And now look at them. Yeah, but you look at the teams that come up. Look at the ages of the players. Are they buying experienced players? 28, 29, 30, 31, 32-year-olds. Players that have been around the block, know what it's like to play in the Premier League, know what it's like to survive. Are they doing that? No, they're buying like 20-year-olds, man. Why? Because it's all about the cash money, mate. It's all about the cash money. Yeah, Burnley bought Trafford. Yeah, obviously it didn't work out last year. He wasn't very good, got dropped. Now he's mint, but now he's going to be sold for 40 million. They bought Odegaard, again, another 21-year-old, sold him to Spurs. Yeah, look at the players that Southampton bought. How old are these players? Are they 30? Do these guys got experience of staying in leagues, scrapping until 30, match day 38? Nah, they're all young. It's all about the money. Yeah, and that's it.
Well, Burnley
I'll know straight away whether any of these teams have got a chance when I've seen the transfer window. Yeah, and if none of them have signed a player, Burnley last year didn't sign a single player over the age of 24.
Burnley are the ones that amaze me because we all know.
I know a top team that does that.